Hey everyone, have you ever wondered how some policies make it to the top of the policy agenda while others just fade away? Well, in this video, I'm going to look at Dr. John Kingdon's Multiple Streams Framework, which looks at exactly how that happens. Now, getting your policy on the policy agenda is a crucial first step in the policy cycle, so let's dive right in. In my first video on the policy cycle, which I'll link to if you want to explore the other phases of the policy cycle, I discussed the importance of the agenda setting phase. Now, while this might seem like the least scientific of the phases of the policy cycle, it has been extensively researched in the field of public policy to get a better understanding of it. One of the theories that has gained prominence is Kingdon's Multiple Streams Framework. Now, there are certainly other theories to explain the agenda setting phase that I will do future videos on, so if you don't like this one, don't be alarmed, you have other options. Starting with the garbage can theory of organizational change for businesses and the theory of incrementalism, Kingdon conducted interviews with members of Congress, bureaucrats, lobbyists, and others involved in the policy process. Out of that came a theory with 3 streams, a window, and an entrepreneur. The 3 streams are the problem stream, the policy stream, and the political stream. When all 3 of those streams are aligned, it opens a window of opportunity. A policy entrepreneur is someone who can push their preferred policy through that window of opportunity. Now, let's dive deeper into each of these 3 streams to understand how they work together, or sometimes how they don't work together. As I do this, think about a policy that's important to you. Which of the 3 streams do you think it's currently stuck in? Let me know in the comments. First, the problem stream. The problem stream is all about framing an issue as a problem in such a way that it gains the attention of policymakers. Now, there's many ways that a problem can gain visibility. There can be an event, for instance, a tragedy that makes the news. There can be some sort of feedback, for instance, a poll or a protest. Or there can be an indicator, for instance, increasing unemployment. Now, I always say that the goal of public policy is to solve a problem. And while that's certainly one part of the problem stream, this stream is also about it being a problem that the policymaker is aware of and wants to solve. Second, the policy stream. The policy stream involves the ideation of policies. That is, the stream will be aligned when there is one or more policy responses to the problem. Now, while this might seem more like the policy formulation stage, it's actually one step before that, because the policy won't get on the policy agenda if there are no possible solutions. The policy formulation stage is more about taking multiple policy solutions and narrowing it down, and making it more tangible for the exact problem you're dealing with. The policy stream is the domain of policy communities, experts, and advocacy groups. Finally, the political stream. The political stream considers public mood, interest group pressure, elections, and government ideology. In other words, there has to be political support for a policy to get it on the policy agenda. Even if there's a problem and a solution, if there's no political support, the policy will not get onto the agenda. This is the domain of political scientists, politicians, and interest groups. With all 3 streams aligned, a window of opportunity for policy change is opened. That is, there becomes an opportunity for policy change when the problem, policy, and political streams all align. Now, does that mean there's no possibility for policy change if only 2 of these 3 streams are aligned, say the problem and political streams? Well, according to the Kingdon's theory, no, all 3 streams have to be aligned for policy change to occur. However, a policy window itself is not enough for a policy to get on the agenda. There's one more component that's needed, and that's a policy entrepreneur. A policy entrepreneur is someone who is able to push their preferred policy through that policy window. That is, someone who can recognize that there is a policy window and has the ability to get their policy onto the policy agenda. Once that happens, a policy can move through the rest of the policy cycle. Let's look at an example to see this in action. The Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, was a US policy that was signed into law in 2010, aimed at reducing the cost of healthcare in the US and expanding access to health insurance. The problem stream was aligned as there was a wide recognition of the high cost of healthcare in the US, and particularly that was exacerbated by the 2008 financial crisis, which saw costs continue to increase and more people kicked off their healthcare as they lost their jobs and access to their employer-provided health insurance. The political stream was the stream that was perhaps aligned for the longest, as there was widely established, theoretical responses to the healthcare issue in the US, as well as examples from around the world. And there was also one tangible example from the US, from an unlikely source, that is Obama's 2012 opponent, Mitt Romney, because when he was governor, he instituted a number of healthcare reforms that eventually became known as Romneycare. So there were tangible and theoretical policy responses for the problem of high healthcare costs in the US. Finally, the political stream. With the election of Obama and Democratic majority in the Congress, there was widespread political support for the issue of addressing high healthcare costs in the United States. In particular, Obama had run on a campaign of instituting healthcare reform, and there was widespread general public support for addressing it in some way. With the three streams aligned, the policy window was open for healthcare reform. Key policy entrepreneurs, including the president and key legislators, were able to push their preferred solution through that policy window. Now, in the case of Obamacare, it was the political stream that was the last to align, but that's not always the case. It can be the problem stream. For instance, think of a policy that a policymaker wants to implement, they have wide public support for, but they don't do it until after some sort of major event. It can also be the policy stream. Oftentimes there's a widely understood problem that people would love to see addressed, but there's no policy that is understood to be able to address that problem. So that's it for the Multiple Streams Framework from Dr. Kingdon. Let me know in the comments if you think it has merit or if there are key components that are missing. Other theories use different ideas to explain the agenda setting process, including issue attention cycles, social construction, storytelling, interest group theory, among others. And understanding how policies get on the policy agenda isn't just important for policymakers. It's crucial for anyone who wants to see real change. So the next time you're pushing for a policy, think of Kingdon, his three streams, and look for that policy window. That's it for me today. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.